At the weekend, Ireland defeated New Zealand by 2-1 in a 3-game test series taking place in New Zealand. This was a historic win for Ireland. But was the team on the field actually Irish? Hi everyone, hope you're doing well, hope you're coping with this heat. I'm struggling. I thought it was bad last week, but it's very, very bad here in London, in the UK right now. So I hope you're keeping well. It is tough, but come Wednesday we should be fine. I say this all the time, but this is a tiny channel. I'm just starting out, so if you can subscribe, that'd be brilliant. I know I go on about it a lot, so apologies, but be doing me a big favour if you do. So what do I even mean when I say, is this actually an Irish team that played New Zealand? Well, let's look at the starting 15. We have 4 foreign-born players in the Ireland starting 15 the other day. We have Hansen, we have Aki, we have Lowe, and we have Gibson Park. So there's 4 foreign-born players in the Ireland team. Now, in the case of Hansen, he has an Irish mother born in County Cork, so he qualifies for Ireland under the rugby rules. So as you can see at the top of this article, players are eligible to switch nations if they've been stood down for 3 years, and if they or a parent or grandparent were born in a country they wish to represent. So in the case of Hansen, he is an Irish-born mother, he can play for Ireland, even though he's born in Australia. That's fine. I have no issue with that whatsoever. If you have a parent or a grandparent born in a country, I think that's fine. I'm of an Irish background. My dad's born in County Donegal. All 4 of my grandparents are Irish. Not good at sport to the top level, obviously. If I wanted to play for Ireland, I think I should be allowed to. That's a ridiculous rule, by the way, this 36-month rule. So you can opt for a country, and if you're not picked for 3 years, you can change countries. That's ridiculous. I don't think they do that in football. I'm not aware of that. It's just a stupid rule. So we've talked about Hansen. I've said my view, no issue whatsoever. We then come to the other 3 men. We come to Aki, Lowe and Gibson Park. This is where, for me, the problems start. You can see in this article here, you've got Gibson Park there, Aki there, and James Lowe there. All 3 men qualify via residency. This is nonsense. So if you get citizenship in a country, you can play for that country. If I was a good sportsman, which I'm not, if I was to move to Poland for 10 years, don't know how many years in Poland citizenship is, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, and I'm good enough, I could play for Poland. I could play for Japan. I could play for India. It's nonsense. I'm clearly not from any of those countries. I'm born in England, Irish background. The whole thing's a farce. Are we reducing playing to a country by citizenship? It's a nonsense. And what's even funnier in this instance is, as you can see, all 3 men are actually born in New Zealand. So Ireland beat New Zealand with 3 lads in the starting 15 born in New Zealand. I mean, you couldn't make this up, could you? So it actually wasn't Ireland who beat New Zealand. It was Ireland and New Zealand who beat New Zealand, if you follow that ridiculous logic. Ireland's not the only rugby team that has this issue. As you can see here, I'll scroll through quickly. Scotland clearly has a few players qualifying via residency. Italy's the same. I think Scotland's the worst with 27. Italy, clarify, not all 27 are via residency, but they've got a lot. Italy's got 14, some via residency. Wales 13 again, some via residency. We've done Ireland. England have Tuolangi from memory. Yeah, and this other guy. And France have a few there, all from residency. So this isn't just an Irish problem, this is clearly a rugby problem, that you have foreign players who are, in Ireland's case, those 3 lads who played for New Zealand weren't probably good enough to play for New Zealand. They're the best rugby country in the world. And then they come to Europe, join club teams in Ireland, wherever else, and they get citizenship and they play for Ireland. It's a complete farce. This doesn't also just apply to rugby. This is a problem in other sports, in football and cricket, so we'll just go through them quickly. Last year, Ireland had in football terms, the most embarrassing defeat. I follow Irish football. Most embarrassing defeat of my lifetime. We lost 1-0 at home to Luxembourg. Great goal to win it. Issue is the goal scorer was Juan Rodriguez, a man born in Portugal. And he qualified for Luxembourg, you've guessed it, via residency. So in a game between Ireland and Luxembourg, the winning goal scorer was a Portuguese fella. Couldn't make it up. You've also got the fact that England won the Cricket World Cup back in 2019, that fantastic game, England-New Zealand. A lot of references to New Zealand tonight, not intentionally. And you had Owen Morgan lift the trophy, a Dubliner, an Irishman lifting the World Cup for England. It's like I was saying earlier, does just putting on that international jersey mean anything now, if it's reduced to residency? Can someone who's not good for one country just move somewhere 5-10 years? Well, 10 years is a long time, but it could be 5-6 years, whatever, and play for that country. We see this all the time. This is part of the reason some of the not as good countries, like, you know, historically, like Luxembourg, they're not qualifying for tournaments, but they're doing better than they did in the past, and that's because they've got foreign players playing for them. I remember when Ireland beat Italy at Euro 2016, probably the best Ireland football victory of my lifetime, and it was fantastic. It was brilliant. And they were all Irish lads. They're all Irish lads, born in Ireland, parent in Irish, grandparent Irish. There wasn't any residency players, citizenship players, as far as I'm aware. And it was fantastic. That was a proper Ireland team winning a big, big game at a big tournament. It meant something. It meant a lot more than if you win with foreigners, in my opinion. So in this regard, international sport is currently a joke. You see, I love international sport. I love football, I love the rugby, I watch the Six Nations and the World Cup, I'll watch the qualifiers for football. But this aspect of international sport is just a farce. It's a joke. As an Ireland supporter, I would rather lose with Irishmen than win with foreigners. But that's just my view. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you agree with me or disagree with me, please let me know in the comments and subscribe again if you've not done so already. Many thanks. Bye.